Hi all my dear followers. After two parts, 1 and 2, about kick with Spire and bass with Spire, I realized that I had to first explain all the possibilities in the Spire and then I would teach the pad with Spire. In fact, it is a prerequisite for continuing education. So let's go to the lovely Spire. Here is a full explanation about all Spire's sections based on the interface in this image. 1. Top left section, soundbank and oscillators. Soundbank. This is where you browse, save and load presets. You can use factory presets or save your own sounds here. Import and select. Used to import external preset files or select from available banks. Oscillators. Oscillator 1, 2, 4. These are the core sound generators. Each oscillator can produce different waveforms and tonal variations. Note: sets the bass pitch or transposition of the oscillator. Octave shifts the oscillator up or down by octaves. Here we have two wave sections. Difference between the two wave sections in Spire. Top box, waveform selection. This box containing options like classic, noise, FM, AM synth, saw, PWM, hard FM, and vowel. Defines the primary waveform, main oscillator waveform of the sound. When I refer to a specific waveform like saw, PWM, or vowel, or saw, I am referring to a selection from this top box. Bottom box, shape and modifier. This box often labeled as shape or modifiers in Spire and containing presets like Sine, tri-sine, para, bass, piano, violin, and etc. does not define the primary waveform itself. Instead, it shapes or processes the primary waveform selected in the top box. For example, if you select saw PWM in the top box, your main waveform is Sawtooth with pulse width modulation capabilities. If you then select Sine in the bottom box, that saw PWM waveform is then shaped or modified with a sinusoidal curve. If you select tri in the bottom box, the saw PWM waveform is shaped with a triangle curve. Vowel is a special type of waveform in the top box that directly emulates the formants of vowel sounds. Therefore, when I mention wave in the context of Spire, I am referring to the selection made in the top box, the primary waveform. The bottom box determines how that primary waveform is further altered or shaped. In a sense, top box means the fundamental material or type of the waveform. Bottom box, the flavor or processing applied to the fundamental wave. Fine-tuning control for subtle detuning or precise pitch adjustment. Control A, Control B. Parameter controls that behave differently depending on the waveform, e.g. PWM amount, wavetable position. Phase sets the starting phase position of the waveform. WT mix lists different wavetable position or layers inside the oscillator. 2. Unison section. This section thickens and widens sound by layering multiple voices. Mode defines the unison behavior, how voices are layered. There is 4 voices. The oscillator is duplicate 4 times for a bigger sound. 2 octave spreads the unison voices across additional octaves. Detune slightly detunes each voice for a wide lash sound. Density controls how many voices are stacked or how tightly spread they are. Wide controls stereo spread of the unison voices. 3. Mix. Mix adjusts the volume blend of the oscillators. 10. Sets the stereo position of each oscillator. Filter input determines how each oscillator fits into filter 1 or filter 2. 4. Filters. Filter 1 and 2. Filter types: LP2, BP2, HP2, and notch. LP2, 2-pole low pass. HP2, 2-pole high pass. BP2, band pass, and notch, band reject. Here in the filter section of Spire, the icons that is mentioned is off, perfecto, acido, infecto, scorpio, combo, and shaper. Correspond to different filter modes or models. Each of these models imparts a distinct characteristic and tonal color timbre to your filter, altering how it reacts to frequencies and resonance. Off disables the filter. The original sound passes through without any filtering. 2. Perfecto. This mode typically represents a low-pass filter with a relatively clean, classic, and musical sound. It has a warm and a smooth character, making it suitable for most applications. If you're aiming for sound similar to classic analog filters, this is a good choice. Acido. This mode offers a stronger and sharper sound compared to Perfecto. It's similar to acidic filters that have more pronounced resonance and can push the sound toward higher frequencies. It's often used for lead sounds or special effects. Infecto. This mode produces a harsher, dirtier, and more characterful sound. It's akin to lo-fi or dirty filters, ideal for adding a desirable grit or texture to a sound. Scorpio. This mode is typically a band pass or notch filter with a distinct personality. It can make the sound more focused and might have a slightly metallic or phone-like quality. It's useful for sounds that need to be centered around a specific frequency. Combo. This mode is a combination of several other modes. It usually tries to blend the best characteristics of 2 or more filters to create a more balanced and versatile sound. It might be a mix of Perfecto and Acido, for instance. Sharper. This mode allows you to manually shape the filter's cutoff curve or use presets for it. It offers a high degree of flexibility, enabling precise control over the sound's timbre and frequency response. This mode is often more complex but can yield very unique results. These options allow you to choose the color and personality of your filter from clean and musical Perfecto to sharp and aggressive Acido, Infecto, and even higher adjustable filters, Shaper. The choice depends on the specific sound you aim to create. Yes, Cut 1 and Cut 2. As you suspected, this refers to the cutoff frequency for 2 distinct parts. In Spire, filters are often designed for stereo operation, meaning they can process the left and right audio channel independently. Cut 1 typically controls the cutoff frequency for the left channel, and Cut 2 typically controls the cutoff frequency for the right channel. About 2 icon, par and link, that is here in below. Par means parallel. This option likely allows you to define how the settings between Cut 1 and Cut 2 interact. When in parallel mode, it might mean that the settings of one filter, e.g. Cut 1, are applied in parallel to the other filter, Cut 2, or that both filters operate independently but with similar overall characteristics. In some scenes, parallel can mean applying 2 filters side by side to the signal, but given presence of a link, it more likely dictates how the 2 cutoff points interact. Link. This option allows you to link the left and right filters, Cut 1 and Cut 2, When link is active or on, adjusting the cutoff of one filter, e.g. cut 1, will automatically change the cutoff of the other filter, cut 2, by the same amount or proportion. This makes the filter behave in mono, ensuring both left and right channels are filtered identically. This is useful for maintaining stereo widths and preventing phase issues. When link is inactive off, you can adjust cut 1 and cut 2 independently for each channel, left and right. This opens up possibilities for interesting stereo effects, such as sweeping the filter differently between the left and right channels. Key track. This option relates to key tracking. When key track is active, the filter's cutoff frequency will automatically change in response to the notes you play on the keyboard or in the piano roll. The key track amount, usually a separate parameter nearby, determines how much the cutoff frequency increases for each semitone the note goes on. Activating key track makes the filter respond more dynamically to the melody or harmony, often making higher notes sound brighter. Filter opens up, or vice versa, depending on the setting. So, cut 1 and cut 2 cutoff frequencies for the left and right filter channels. Par means parallel, likely relates to how parameters are applied in parallel. Link, used to synchronize link cut 1 and cut 2 for mono filtering or to enable independent stereo filtering. And key track, synchronize the filter's cutoff frequency with the notes being played. Resonance, res 1 and res 2. Boost frequencies around the cutoff, making the sound sharper or whistling. Filter balance blends the outputs of filter 1 and filter 2. 5. Effects.